Hello, Chiquis.
And welcome to Chatty Amigas, a podcast where two friends approach everyday problems and find practical solutions.
We are your hosts. I'm Muffin.
And I'm Mela. Today,
drum roll, please.
We're going to do things a little differently. We loved our tea time questions so much that we decided to make our entire episode revolve around it.
That's right. So today we spill the tea on best habits and how to break a bad one.
Okay, so let's just jump right into tea time, shall we?
It is tea time.
Tea time.
So tea time is when we answer one question that has been submitted to us by one of our listeners.
And today's question was sent to us by Anonymous. Thank you, Anonymous.
Thank you.
And their question is, best habits to develop? Very straightforward. Question mark.
I love that.
And this is what we're really going to discuss more. It's like, and I did some, I dove deep in the internet for this stuff. Like, let me tell you. And I found something from Forbes.com. Then I just hit the mic. Did I get too excited? I think I did.
No, I don't think you did.
No? Okay, because I felt I did.
Oh, no.
There you go. 10 habits, daily habits that can actually change your life. So basically, your attitude is going to determine your altitude. The successful people don't just drift off to the top. Getting there requires focus, action, personal discipline, and lots of energy every day to make things happen. So don't let your old habits hold you back. Start building those simple yet essential habits for a happier and more productive life.
Very interesting. So our very first one is to create a morning ritual. Maybe you like to go for a run, or maybe you like to meditate or enjoy a healthy breakfast, whatever it is that makes you feel supercharged. Kickstart your day with that habit. Establishing a meaningful morning ritual helps you start your day on a positive, proactive note. Having a structured start to your day instead of rushing to make up for the lost time also helps eliminate stress, mental fatigue, and enhances your productivity. Don't know where to begin? You can check out like some morning rituals. There is a link that is linked in this link.
Yeah, we're going to link it down below. So feel free to take a gander at it.
Yes, that way you can see what some of the most successful people do to get some inspiration. And I love that. I'm trying to build a new habit in the mornings is to get on the treadmill in the morning. Yeah. I started today and we'll see how that goes.
oh no. Yay, early bird, you can do this.
It's just it's hard. I have a hard time waking up in the mornings, but I'm trying to do that first thing I wake up.
Wait, are you a night owl now?
Neither.
Oh.
I am like on a limbo. I'm an afternoon person now. I have a hard time waking up, and I go to bed, and I have a hard time waking up. And then in the afternoon, I feel like super productive, but then I still take a nap. Like my peak production is between like 10:30 and 12.
That's
like my peak productivity. No. Like that's like where I feel the most productive. I'm gonna do things throughout the whole day.
Oh, okay.
But that's like my peak,
when your energy is fully charged. Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, let's get to it. But
that's insane. Yeah. My peak starts at 11:30. 11. It don't matter what time I wake up. It's 11:30, and maybe 10:30, and it ends at about 10
p.m.
10 p.m.
Yeah, you go nonstop. No, and I'll go nonstop all day too. But that's where I feel like
like that's my peak though. All those hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know,
girl.
Thank you. I am not I am a night owl. Clearly, it started at 11:30, 11, maybe 10:30, depending what time I wake up. I wish I could do this. I am jealous of those that can, but in a very supportive way. So if you can do this, do it. If you cannot, I don't know what to tell you because I cannot do this.
Then you build an afternoon ritual.
Yes.
Yeah, or a night ritual. You can.
We're like totally taking this entire article, just like discombobulating it to what works.
Right? Or you build a night, a nightly routine, a night ritual, or an afternoon one.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, on that note, follow the 80-20 rule. That means in any situation, 20% of the task yield 80% of the results. Basically, you can maximize or make more of the productivity by investing or putting more energy, efforts, etc., most of your time and energy on those specific tasks that will create the biggest impact or get the biggest outcome out of it. Once you finish those tasks, you can focus on other activities that are on your to-do list. I think it's pretty simple to the point. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Make a list. Get to
Yep.
it. So the
80
next one,
20.
the next one is to read, read, read. Reading books is a great way to gain knowledge and stimulate creativity. Immersion reading can also or also improves focus and has a calming effect, similar to meditation. So, moreover, reading before bedtime can help you sleep better. Nonfiction books, in particular, are an excellent tool to broaden horizon, develop new ideas, and seek motivation. Additionally, they also offer actionable advice on how to overcome all kinds of challenging situations through real life examples. I agree with that. Don't go read. I mean, that might work for you, but in my case, I don't go reading a exciting true crime novel because then I'm gonna want to get to the end and know what happens, and then I can't sleep because I need to know what just happened, right? So I read non-fictional stuff before I go to bed just so I can have a time to wind down and calm it
To
down.
me, it depends on the topic. Because if it's going to make my brain extra think, then I don't relax.
Yeah, it depends on, I guess. You gotta know yourself to know what books you like or don't like.
Agreed. But yeah, okay, question. Do you feel that listening to audio tapes is the same as the reading? Like actually going with your eyes back and forth?
No, it's not the same. But let me tell you what, something.
Mm.
Because I know where you're gonna go with this, because I know you're a reader. I know you are like you like a book in front of your face. You
Mm-hmm.
like to do that.
I
But
love
see,
it.
when I do, and I love to read, I actually do. But my brain, because I'm always multitasking, and you're gonna go into that one next. But because I'm always multitasking, when I'm reading, my brain is always doing something else and I cannot focus. So it helps me to listen to a book and I read as well at the same time. If I can get both, or otherwise I have to read out loud because I cannot shut my brain down. And even like it's crazy because I will have music playing in the back of my head as I'm reading.
Mm-hmm.
And I have
Oh,
music. I
oh,
have
oh
music.
no. I can't do that.
No, no,
Wow.
no, no, no. Not by
No, you do
choice.
it. I
No, no,
can't do
no,
it.
no, no,
That's
no,
great.
no. It is not by choice.
Wait. So what kind of music do you listen to when you read?
No, I don't listen to music by choice. It's stuff that's in my brain.
Oh, so your
Like,
brain is playing the music. You're not actually actively
no, like
listening.
it's not by choice. It could be like
It's
something
not.
that I heard when I was 9 years old to when
So it could
something
just be Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star all of a
to
sudden.
where
Stop
something
it.
I just heard 2 hours ago.
Stop it. That
So
is
that,
insane.
ma'am, so that has been associated with ADHD, having music playing in your background like all the
Oh
time
my God.
because
Are
you
you
have an
admitting
over.
something to the us out
No,
in
I
the
am not admitting. No,
public?
let me talk. I have
Tell me.
not. I'm not admitting anything because I have never been diagnosed, but I have very deeply considered this to be a possibility.
Okay.
But that also having music playing in your head constantly is a sign of stress when your brain is too stressed. Like,
Oh my
and it
God.
also is a sign of your brain being addicted to stress because you're constantly going nonstop. And it's like when you're winding down, your brain is like, no, you're not, because we got to do other things.
Oh
And there's
my
like music. And it
God.
is so annoying because sometimes the music gets so loud I cannot even understand what I'm reading. So I have to read out
Stop.
loud.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
It overpowers my thoughts sometimes.
No.
So I have to have something playing, like maybe like green noise, white noise, brown noise, or I have the audiobook actually playing,
Oh my
or I
God.
have to read out loud in order to shut my brain. It's the worst thing. I
Oh
wake
my
up
God. I am
sometimes.
so sorry. You wake up sometimes
Sometimes
with this?
in the middle of the night and my brain is like, and I'm like,
No.
shut up, I gotta sleep.
No, unacceptable.
Yeah, it is bad.
I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's a legit thing.
Dang.
It's a legit thing.
Oh, I want to hug you.
But I think the problem is because I'm always multitasking, and that's the next topic if you want to put that in.
Yeah, let me find it. Hold on.
It is honestly a
Learn
really
to
awful thing.
single task. Huh?
It's an awful thing.
That sounds exhausting.
It is
I'm
exhausting.
so sorry. I would just want to hug you.
I wish you could.
Aww. Air hug, virtual hug. Like, oh, seeing. Oh, my cheeky. I'm sorry. You think you'll like look into this? We'll talk more about it later. Like, that's insane.
I've looked into this. We'll talk later.
Okay. So learn to single task Mafe. The next thing on the list. Only 2% people in the world can multitask successfully. I am not one of these at all.
I think I have, but I clearly don't because now my brain is like addicted to stress.
Apparently. So while there's no harm in occasional multitasking, constant juggling between tasks limits your focus and contributes to mental clutter by making it difficult for your brain to filter out irrelevant information. They also did a study on Stanford University. Heavy multitasking lowers efficacy, efficiency. I guess efficacy too, because if you feel like your self-esteem is a lot down, it doesn't help. Efficiency and may impair your cognitive control. Ooh, that's important to keep alive and kicking. This is why you should try to single task as much as possible. Make a list of things you need accomplished in a day. Start with what's most important and make your way down the list, completing one task at a time. I did research once, and they said that you're only capable of doing 7 items a day. And I said challenge accepted because I have a very high energy, like peak time.
Yeah.
Guess how many tasks I can make a day?
Like 14.
7. 7. I tried and I tried. I can only do 7. I guess it's like how much time you have in a day too. But I also don't like to multitask at all. Like I suck at it. They say that. So I was born a lefty. And they say that people that are lefties, our brains are made different. And we cannot multitask for the life of me. I know this one guy that said, no, I learned how to multitask. I was born a lefty. I'm like, good for you. But I will refuse. I'm not putting myself through that because it's stressful. Yeah. I'd rather just focus on one thing at a time. It helps me with my patience, helps me stay calm. It helps me be able to do something well done. And I rather just, I'm the type of person where I do it well done the first time or don't do it at all. Yeah. So I'd rather just focus on one item. So I agree with this 100%. It's an amazing habit to do. It's made my life significantly better. I had a knot in the back of my right arm, like the shoulder. It went away because I stopped amongst other things. But that was creating attention because I was so stressed. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? You know what? I'm a single task. And if you got a problem with it, being here with your New York minute, you could go fly a kite. I don't care. I'm going to do my own thing. And if you don't want me, fire me. I'll get another job. But, no problems. No one has a problem with this because they say I'm detailed now. I was never said it was super detailed. The moment I started single tasking, now all of a sudden I'm a detailed person. So it ended up being beneficial to me. So that's my personal experience on that.
Yeah. No, I think that is one good habit that people should develop. And by people, I mean me. I am people. I am. This paragraph, it's for me.
You're a person? Wow, thank you. I thought you were superhuman. I didn't know.
No, apparently I'm not, right?
With your musical entourage in the background. Sorry, go ahead.
It is so bad. I mean, it helps when I'm super focused and that doesn't happen. But when it's time to wind down, and maybe I just don't notice it as bad when I'm working and doing certain things where my brain is fully immersed. But when I'm winding down, it gets louder. It's just awful. But it's exhausting. But anyways, I need to learn.
We'll touch on that afterwards.
Yeah,
that's insane.
I need to learn how to single task and just develop different habits. But
highly recommend it. 10 out of 10.
Yeah. The next one is to appreciate more. So a French novelist says we can complain because rose bushes have thorns or rejoice because thorns have roses. I love that. That's beautiful. It is easy to get caught up in the rat race and forget how fortunate you are. Practicing gratitude is a great way to create positivity, reduce stress, and improve your physical health. How can you cultivate this healthy habit? You can start a gratitude journal, volunteer, take time to appreciate your loved ones, and remind yourself of at least one thing you're grateful for every day before going to bed. The more you appreciate the little joys of life, the happier you'll be. And funny, if you guys have not listened to our previous episode, I touch base on that. I have developed a new habit where I have a journal next to my bed and I write three gratitudes every night. So three things I'm grateful for that day. And it could be the simplest things like I'm grateful for a cup of coffee, or I'm grateful for taking my dog on a walk, or I'm grateful for being able to sleep in. Just little things, and also volunteering. I do believe that it's helped me appreciate a lot more in my life. Be more positive.
Yeah, it's definitely a mental thing. Like you have to train your brain. Like some people naturally are able to do this, some not so much because it depends on your personality. Some people are more pessimistic than others, but
Mhm.
just focusing on what you have versus what you don't have, it just really does make life a little easier every day because it's like, okay, maybe my roof collapsed and it sucks, but at least I have the money to repair it. Something
Mhm.
like that. Or, my roof collapsed, but at least I have a place to go to. I have friends to
But at
support
least
me.
I'm alive. I didn't.
Yeah,
Nobody died.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or if we don't need to be melodramatic, like I just made it, and you could just be like, I'm so glad that like I have my pet. Or
Yeah.
I'm so glad I have food. I'm
Mhm.
so glad for the house I live in, like or apartment, whatever. Little things like that. It just makes life easier. And then when big things happen, they're pretty awesome. It's like, wow, like you just appreciate it so much more, I feel.
Yeah. I agree.
So, another thing, so like if you want to learn how to appreciate more also, and it's not your nature, I always recommend, because I've done this, I do this still. If I want to better at something, like have a good quality or habit, I like to surround myself around others that have a tendency of being like that naturally, or that have worked really hard to get to that point. I'm like, all right, because you know what they say, birds of a feather flock together.
Mhm.
So like you end up sucking up or like whatever that they're doing, and you end up having it as a second nature to yourself.
Mhm.
Usually it dedicates time and effort, but you'll get there. And a good way to learn how to appreciate things more is to surround yourself with positive people. And that is the next item on the list. I don't remember what number it is, but
I don't either. It's fine.
the next one. Surround yourself with positive people. You are the average of 5 people you spend the most time with, said the American author and entrepreneur Jim Rohn. So this is why you need to carefully consider who you're spending your time with, especially if it's a lot of time. Let go of relationships that bring you down instead of lifting you up, and spend time with people who know how to nurture and share happiness. Since happiness is contagious, it's one of the easiest ways to create positivity in your life.
Mhm. Agreed.
I've done this 10 out of 10, highly recommend. And if you need to know, friendship breakup from season 1, just saying.
Oh, yes, that's a good one. Yes, agreed. So the next one is to make time for exercise. Other than improving your physical health, working out regularly pumps up creativity and enhances your cognitive skills. It's also an effective way of building endurance and get energized. If you're still not convinced, exercising also elevates mood by boosting the production of endorphins, hormones that act as a natural antidepressant. Still need more reasons to hit the gym?
Yes, I
I agree.
do.
Yes,
I hate the gym so much, but it is what it is.
I
Look
agree.
up a workout that works for you. It doesn't necessarily have to be the gym, just saying.
Yeah, I agree. And I do feel a lot better every time I work out. It's just finding
Same.
motivation. But there's plenty of reasons to exercise.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a habit. It's a good habit. So you have to start it and you can't stop it. It's ultimately that's what it is. So
Yeah,
do it. Just do it. Just go. I don't
that's
know.
it. Agreed.
It helps. Then with that, the next item, master the art of listening. I'm working on this these days. I think I'm doing better. I hope. I don't know. People have been commenting on it.
Well,
because I'm
good.
like not really speaking as much, and they're just staring at me. I'm like, I'm letting you say your piece. Like, oh, thank you.
Good
Especially where I
job.
live, it's not a really common thing. We all like interrupt one another. It's just the communication habit or speech
Yeah.
pattern that we have. And like I learned this when we were doing season one, that I do have the speech pattern. And I'm like, okay, it's cool, but like I also do want to learn how to listen more, because I feel like I could get the little details that are important faster.
Mhm.
And that helps me with my patience. And I don't know, I just feel better
Yeah.
about myself. I don't know. And it also allows me less time to put my foot in my mouth.
And because it makes you feel better about yourself because you're showing empathy at that point. Because you're listening and you're listening not to just to get them finished. You're listening to actually pay attention and understand that person, which
But
helps you
I always
understand
did
them
that.
more
As I interrupt you.
as you
Oh my god,
interrupt
I'm
me.
okay, carry
Move
on.
on. No, I have nothing to say.
No, it's because I felt like I always listened with empathy, like even if I do that.
But if you interrupt somebody, you're not letting them finish their emotions and their
It,
thought.
it depends where they're from, because here we do that naturally and it's not rude. It's showing that you care. Because the issue I'm finding here, which has been very surprising, is I don't talk. See how I got passionate? I hit myself on the microphone. I don't talk. And then the people look at me, they're like, do you hear me? Do you get what I'm saying? They feel I'm ignoring them because I'm not
Yeah,
interrupting them.
you want them to be active. They want an active listener, somebody
So
that's
it's
constantly talking. Yeah.
correct, and it's doing the like opposite effect of what I thought it would. Whereas if I'm in the Southwest, that's what people crave and want, because that's just the communication
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
But because I've been doing that here, and I don't really interact that much with people from the Southwest, it's doing the opposite effect. I'm like, all right, this is interesting. So I have to, if it's something super serious, I really do want to just listen before I speak. I don't know if it's just a sign of getting older. Hopefully, it's a sign of wisdom and maturity. I don't know, but
Perhaps.
um, I don't know. I think it's important. But anyways, master the art of listening. It's not about me. Uh, effective communication is crucial when it comes to cultivating personal professional relationships, and listening is central to communication. So it's very important that you pay attention to what others have to say. It not only makes others feel valued, but will also help you understand them better and gain a fresh perspective. Don't try to monopolize the conversation, or like taking over, or fake attention while your mind is busy figuring out like what you want to do afterwards or what you want for dinner, right? Listen to what they have to say, the person that's talking to you, and what they really mean, and take note of the nonverbal cues as well. I've gotten better since I started doing more listening and not
Mhm.
as much like the interrupting thing. I'm getting better at the nonverbal cues, which was a nice surprise I wasn't expecting.
Good.
um the more you listen, thank you. The more you listen, the more you'll learn. So they have a link also here, that a handy guide that can help you become a good listener. If you want to check it out, feel free to do that.
If you guys keep hearing a thud, that's just Melanie being super passionate hitting the table right in front of her.
Stop. No, I'm not. Stop it.
Yes, it's been happening the whole episode, which that's fine, but I feel like I need to explain. If you guys keep hearing a thud, it's Melanie hitting the
I
desk.
really talk with my
Yeah,
hands. I'm
she's
like
very
feeling it.
animated. That's fine. And that's okay. I just need to let you guys know she's so animated, so passionate about this. She's gotta make a point, and she, because we can't see
I
her,
have to.
she's just making a point. She's making a point. The next one is to go for a social media detox.
Ba-ba.
The digital, gosh, the digital world has taken over almost every aspect of our lives. The average person has 5 social media accounts, gosh, and spends at least 1 hour and 40 minutes every day on checking social media. Research shows that the more time you spend on social media site, the more likely you are to develop depression. Take time to cut back on social media to reduce stress and mental clutter. Switch off your phone and laptop for a few hours every day to improve your mood and reconnect with the world around you. I agree. Social media makes us feel like we're missing out because
And
everybody's life
also,
seems
sorry.
so perfect.
Mhm. And it also helps with anxiety. You know, like I said that and I jinxed myself. I'm so sorry. I really thought you were done. I think it's the internet is lower. I don't know. I'm so sorry.
It's
We're looking at each other, right? Um uh but so
she got nervous. This poor thing.
I'm
So
sorry, I'm
no,
trying.
nobody's judging you. I think we're all used to it at this point. It's
Thank you.
okay.
I don't know if that's a good thing or
It's
not,
who
but
you are.
I'll
It's who
take
you
it.
are. It's fine. It's who
I
you are.
swear I'm trying to change. I'm trying to be a better person.
That doesn't make
Although
you a
it's
bad
confusing,
person.
all the East Coast people, they're very confused.
It's who you are. It doesn't make you a bad person. Don't worry about
Thank
it.
you. I'm a good person. I try.
You are.
Thank
Yeah.
you. So are you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I was just gonna say that I also feel social media detox is super important. I figured out why the younger generation is so anxious. Like they have a lot of severe anxiety.
Yep.
And one of the
Social media.
reasons, yeah, because they're getting a lot of information very fast. It's like doing something in their brain and giving them anxiety. And
And it's
I
not filtered. Information is not filtered to the generation.
perhaps not.
The information is just out there. And how can a young person process what a 40 or 50-year-old person would normally process?
Yeah, that's also a
I
problem.
read a I read a study that, and this is like completely unrelated because it was during lockdown, but because all of us were on our phones all the time during lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and social media was like the way we interacted and we lived. It
Mm-hmm.
said that teenagers and kids' brain, they did a study, and their brains aged like 3 years
Shut
than
up.
their actual age.
That's
Like
so
their
sad.
brains just aged. Yeah, it's just that social media does that. So be careful, people.
Oh, all I know is that like I don't have social media outside. Like I have my WhatsApp. I'll put a status occasionally,
Mm-hmm.
but besides I don't because it was just like I couldn't handle it. And I wish I could, but I just can't. So I just got rid of it. And I went back on for the chatty amigas, right? Because we have our own social media. The information overload. Now their videos go so fast. I got so overwhelmed because I'm like, this doesn't feel human. It feels like unnatural.
Yeah.
And if this is what kids are watching and then they're having anxiety, I'm like, well, duh. Like, this is like being thrown at them and not the stuff you don't want. And then you have the influencers selling you things. They're very pushy and they make their eyes so big. Yeah, you want this. You want this is amazing. Just buy it. Just buy it. Like, how about no? How about you just calm down, okay?
Yeah,
It's
it
like a
is.
whole thing. It's like
It's pretty
really
creepy.
intense. A
It
hundred
is.
percent.
It's pretty bad. And then we wonder why our brains are overstimulated. Yeah.
So, on that note, it's super important to invest in self care.
Mm-hmm.
Taking some time off to unwind can do amazing things to your mood, mental health, your self esteem. Do at least one thing every day that makes you feel good. Listen to music, learn a new skill, take a long bubble bath, or prepare a nice meal. Whatever you want that makes you happy, go for it. Super important.
Mm-hmm. That's it. And developing these habits, they require determination and lots of patience and constant effort. So maybe just take a few weeks or maybe more than that. It doesn't matter how long it takes to build the habit, as long as you don't give up.
Sometimes it takes years,
Yeah,
and that's okay.
that's okay.
Just do it because it's so worth it at the end of the day.
Don't give
And you
up.
feel like a better person for it too. And then it's
Mhm.
kind of cool when you get better at something and then you put time and effort and years and people, not just like
Notice.
one, people notice and they're like, oh my God, I want to be like this. Like, what did you do? And you're like, well, come here, student. No kidding.
Let me tell you, sit
It's a
down.
very cool experience and you get to interact with people on a different level. It's highly recommend 10 out of 10. Just do it.
I agree. Agreed. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that wraps up the tea time portion for today. This was a long one, but thank you for submitting the question. We please appreciate your support. Just a friendly reminder, tea time is officially closed.
Yes. So we're not going to end the episode on that note because it's like bizarre. So I decided to do a little bit more sleuthing, and I found how to break a bad habit, which is going to be the opposite of what we're talking about because I feel like this is also important.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved the article in health.harvard.edu. I looked into this, let me tell you, and essentially, if there's a specific habit you want to break, beautiful, I say go for it. But you actually do need to do your research to break the specific habit
Specific.
because, yeah, because each habit has its own thing or a bad habit. But this one I felt was pretty neutral enough. Like it had components that every single article I was reading about other habits included. So if there's something more specific, you have to research it. Please do it and then put it into practice. So what I have here is like the idea of like generalization, but like it's good. Like listen to this. You'll like it. We all have habits we'll want to get rid of. Sometimes we do give ourselves this little pep talk of I'll go to bed earlier. I'm gonna not eat this junk food. I'm gonna stop doing whatever, like biting my nails or whatever. And then the next day comes, and sometimes we just don't go through it, and we just
Mhm.
cave, and then we feel worse because like, dang, like I said I would, and then like I didn't. So then
Right.
we feel like defeated, guilty, whatever. So it's understandable that this happens because the brain doesn't make changes easily. What do they say? It takes like what, a month or 2 weeks for a good habit to begin. Like it takes a
Like it
minute.
takes like 14 days to build a new habit or to
So
break a
that
habit.
to break, no, to build a new one is that long, I think. So I believe it's the good habit. That's the 14 days or something like
Yeah, to
that.
build a new habit, I think it's 14 days.
And since us humans have tendency of doing bad things, I'm assuming it takes longer to break out bad. This is my personal opinion. I haven't even looked into it. Feel free to Google it, guys. Let me know. Let us know.
Yeah,
Um,
Google it. You guys do the deep dive.
yeah, but it can be done. Breaking a bad habit. It just takes a lot of work, a lot of effective behavior modification techniques as well. But we can do it. And why? Because we feel rewarded for certain habits that we have. So good or bad habits are routines, and routines like showering or driving to work are automatic, and it makes our lives easier. So the brain doesn't have to really think too much about it. That's what Dr. Stephanie Collier says. She's the director of education in the division of geriatric psychology at the McLean Hospital. She's also an instructor at Harvard Medical School. So the bad habits are slightly different. When we try to break a bad one, we create dissonance. So like separate it, and the brain doesn't like that. They don't like to disown or like separate from something. Um, so the brain activates the fight, flight, or freeze response, and our reaction is to avoid this threat. So we go back to the old behavior, even though we know it's not good for us.
Mhm.
So that's why we do this. Often the habits that don't benefit us still feel good because our brain will release that dopamine, which is that feel good hormone. And it does this with anything that helps us as a species to survive in general. So avoiding change qualifies as survival, and we get rewarded, even if it's temporarily. So we keep reverting it every time to like bad habits, which is why it's so hard to break.
Yeah. So something that will help to break those habits is to finding the reason why you want to change. So before you try to change a habit, it is fundamental to identify why you want to change. And the reason is more personal, like if you want to be around your kids or you want to travel more or you have a stronger motivation and a reminder to refer back during struggles, it will be easier for you to change. So after that, you want to figure out your internal and external triggers, and that takes some detective work. It's gonna be very exhausting because you need to figure out the real you in the inside. So when the bad habit urge hits, ask when, where, and with whom it happens and how you're feeling. Be it sad, lonely, depressed, nervous. It's a mixing and matching process and different for every person. But if you notice a clue beforehand, you might be able to catch yourself. So the next part, and sometimes the harder part, is to modify your behavior. If your weakness is a morning muffin on the way to work, the solution might be to change the route. But environments can't always be altered, so you want to find a replacement, such as like having almonds instead of candy or frozen fruit instead of ice cream.
I
You
don't
don't
buy
have
the junk food. I do that. I just don't buy it.
I've been craving junk food and I'm so sad I don't have any at home. And I'm so tempted to just
Oh.
go to the store and buy a bag of chips. I've just been craving chips. I
They
want
say
chips.
chips. I don't know what. I don't like. I don't know. I don't know what like the substitute for that is. Google it.
No, I just want chips.
You know,
So
sometimes it's okay to have a chip. Like, as
well,
I say this, and we're talking about bad habits, but
right,
here we are.
but chips is not bad. I mean, it's bad if I have the whole bag. I just want a little bit.
Tiny
But
bite.
maybe
Get
I'm
the
just
tiny
maybe
bag.
no, I think oh yeah, just the little individual personal bags.
Yeah.
Or perhaps I'm just craving salty food and that's what I need to eat. That's probably what it is. If I'm craving something crunchy and salty, then I need to eat something that's crunchy and salty.
Celery.
Ugh, I don't like celery. So the doctor in here says that you don't have to aim for perfect. You just have they don't have to be perfect, but just a little bit healthier.
Small bag of chips.
Buy a bag of chips. Did she assume you
Instead
took
of a
some?
big bag of chips, get the small one.
But you also want to avoid the all or nothing mindset, which leads to quick burnout. And instead, take micro steps towards your goal. So if you stay up until midnight but want to be in bed at 10, the reasonable progression is to start with 11:45, the next night 11:30, the next 11:15, and build success and minimizing, avoiding. It builds success and minimizes avoiding the new habit. I think Melanie can testify to that too. So it helps.
Yeah, I struggle with this. It works when you like travel and like the time change is different and then you can continue. But my issue is I get it. It takes a long time and I'm perfect for a week and then something extraordinary happens. And then I can't then it like ruins it because one night it'll change my sleep habit and then I can't get back into it till like months later. It's like a whole problem, but it does work. You just have to really try.
Yeah, no kidding. And it helps to remember that the urges follow a cycle. So they're initially intense and then they are less and then they usually go away in about 20 minutes. So the doctor suggests to set a timer and focus on just getting through that. So in the waiting period, seek new sensations that can provide useful distraction. So you can go outside and feel the wind and smell the air. You can do something physical like a workout, do some push-ups. I don't know. The doctor also likes using the hot and cold in the extreme. It's submerging your face into a bowl of water, which
Oh
can
my
also slow down your heart
God.
rate.
Slow
But
down your heart rate? Wait, what?
yeah,
Oh, wow.
but it could also be holding an ice cube or taking a hot shower. You're focused on the sensation and not the urge. Actually, that is a really good anxiety um kind of like a quick treatment for anxiety. If you're having a panic
Okay.
attack, an anxiety attack in the moment, submerging your head in a bowl of ice water, like a water with ice, just submerging your head in it for like 30 seconds and then just coming back up and then doing it again for like 3 minutes, because then your body gets rid of it focuses now on the cold instead of all the emotions that were going through your head and through your body.
Dang. But if you're like not breathing though.
Now you come back up and then you breathe.
Uh, I don't know. But
I'm
like
not saying
I like the ice idea. Just like rubbing it on your
I'm
forehead,
not saying
maybe.
3 minutes underwater. I say
No importa. Like if you're just like can't breathe
oh
and you're just like blah.
boy,
Maybe just like sprinkling your face with the cold water.
it shocks your body into a different reaction.
Yeah, you know your body. Like if you're having a panic attack and you're not breathing, maybe just like don't do this. But like maybe you could sprinkle the cold water on your face, spray your face,
Make
or
sure
like
you
put ice, like they were
yeah,
saying about ice, right? Holding an
yeah.
ice cube.
Make sure you do what's best for you. And again, we're not doctors, and check with your doctor before you go trying any extreme activities.
The beauty of life is you get to choose.
That's it. As the jazz singer says.
Oh God,
You sounded so like the beginning of a jazz song.
did I?
When did you because you
The
just said
beauty of life is you get to choose.
you did this. And I was like, oh, she's gonna start singing.
Oh, I have no place to sing. It's actually disgusting, but what can we do?
Yeah, the poor thing is so dealing with allergies. It's been
It is
2 weeks now
out of this world. I've been dealing with this for what, 3 weeks now?
or more.
I think it's been
No,
a month.
no, I don't know.
We've been having a natural warm winter, and all the flowers and nature and greens have been sprouting in February, which is terrifying.
You're gonna
So,
have snow this summer. Just wait and see.
no,
We had we
no,
we
I
had
want
a
to go to the beach.
we had a rough snowstorm last week.
I
Last week
swap.
it was nice. I love the snow, but now
That's good.
everything's muddy and disgusting.
Ew. Yeah, because you guys have a lot of mud over there.
Yeah.
it's okay over here. It gets polluted. So it's disgusting. Like, it's beautiful until people start driving. You're like, no, it's
Yeah.
like a whole problem. Anyways, so another way to break a bad habit is to accept that success is not a straight line. It's gonna take work. Like, it's not gonna be like, okay, tomorrow you'll fix it. No. As you try to change, there will be bumps and setbacks, which is part of the process. The problem is that we're our own worst critics, and some people view anything except total success as a complete failure, which we should not, like, at all. We're not Superman. It takes a minute to get these things done. So try to take a third person perspective and think about how you'd react to a friend who said that having one bag of chips had ruined their whole diet. Oh my god,
This, what is up with
I'm
the
done.
this last podcast, last week's podcast, and this week's podcast have been like attacking me directly. I apparently need to
You
do
feel
some
personally attacked by Regina George. Raise your hand.
as we both raise our hands. I have apparently have a lot of things to work on. I'm done. Goodbye.
Who doesn't? I mean, hello. All right.
That's so funny.
You'd be kind and reassuring, not critical, about the friend that had like the bag of chip, right? So give yourself the same treatment. A lot of the struggle with self-criticism is not seeing thoughts as facts, but merely thoughts. It takes practice, but it's the same idea as with meditation. You treat what comes into your head as clouds, acknowledging them and letting them roll on through. Everyone has distorted thoughts all the time, but it's what you do with them that's going to make that difference, right? So it also helps to reduce stress and minimize that sense of failure, to know that the goal isn't to make that old habit disappear, because it most likely will not. You're just trying to strengthen the new routine. So eventually it takes over and the old habit isn't even a thought, or it's not like as there, as obvious, because you're working on it. Because like I have a habit that I don't like, and I work on it every day, but I've been working on it every day since I was 18.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's over a decade. Over, yeah, let's just say over a decade. No one needs to know.
No one needs to know. But then that's it. It's the progress that you're making. It's not giving up and wanting to aim to be a better person. That's what you're doing. That's what actually matters.
Yeah, and the crazy thing about it, not to toot my own horn, so I'm sorry if it comes off this way. I'm just trying to give an example, okay? I say this with the most humility, like, because I work on this every day. And it becomes low-key, see, I'm hitting the mic. It becomes low-key second nature in a way, but you still have to work on it, but you get used to working on it. And it's really cool when people come up to me and are like, how do you do this? Like, I want to be like this. And it's weird because it becomes a quality that people see as my strength. And I'm like, dang, like I gotta work on this every day. Like, this is not natural to me. So when people find out that it's not natural, they get really thrown off because it comes off natural. I'm like, no, like I have to work on it every day. So it's so reassuring hearing it, but it takes a long time. It's taken me over a decade, and I have to work on it every day. That's a lot of math. That's many days and hours, but it's okay. So you just have to remember, it might not just 100% disappear, but it becomes, a part of you. And you'll get okay. Like, it's not going to be, oh my gosh, so exhausting. It is the first couple months, but then you're fine. And then you're proud of yourself. And I don't know, it's nice. Do it. Just do it. Okay. You'll see what I mean if you do it.
I think the rest of the people not on the East Coast caught that Jersey accent.
Word.
I don't know. It just escaped my mind, but I was like, I'm gonna call it out, and then I just forgot what you said.
Oh, I don't remember. I don't know.
I don't know, but it was
I don't know if the East Coast people exhausting.
I think you said exhausting.
I don't know if my East Coast people picked up on it, because it's probably like, oh, yeah, she said something fine. I think it's whoever doesn't live here probably picked up on that. Like,
that's what I said. That's what I said. The people outside the East Coast were like,
oh, outside. I'm sorry.
She sounded very, very East Coasty.
It is. And unapologetically have this accent. So, okay. So you're just trying to strengthen the new routine, so eventually it does take over and the old habit isn't even a thought. But it's a constant process, made easier with self-compassion, because there's no way to prepare for every situation or be able to predict when and where a trigger might happen. Collier, the doctor we mentioned earlier, said you cannot prepare for life. Life is going to throw things at you. So, just something you got to keep in mind. I agree with this 100% because I've been doing it. it is worth it. Just do it. Put in the time, put in the effort. You'll see what I mean. And then you're going to come back and be like, Melanie, you were right. So it's not about that, you know?
It takes time, but at the end of the day, it is worth it because you're going to
100%.
better yourself.
Yep, highly recommend 10 out of 10.
That is it for our podcast today. Thank you so much for listening. We sincerely hope you liked it.
We would love to know what you thought about our episode, so please feel free to leave a comment.
Please subscribe, give us a like, a follow, and or a star rating. We have appreciated all the support you guys have given us. So if you would like, please go ahead and follow us on every social media platform at Chari Amigas.
Thank you so much for listening, Chiquis. We'll be back every Tuesday with the team.
Bye.
Bye.